everyone, Master NET here checking in with Awaken Within. I want to jump right into this part 2 video from yesterday, or a few days ago, I should say. If you haven't checked that video out, please check it out. It's going to make a lot more sense when you start hearing this side of it, right? And it was about a story about I call my angel on the plane. We talked about coincidences and, everything happens for a reason, and just all kind of synchronicities that happen right when you need them. A divine intervention, if you will. And so it's all there for you on that first video, but I did leave some important things out, and I did it on purpose because I was kind of worried about hurting people's feelings if they watch this. But I wanted to respect those people. But also, I think it's a very big part of this story. So I'm going to let this go. I'm just going to keep the names out of it. But it's really, the lesson is to thine own self be true. It's about really being true to yourself and not worrying about, teachers' feelings and things like that, because I worried about staying sober on this 12-day trip, that I was just graciously invited to, right? To train with some of the top people in the world. Long story short, that is in our last video. The stuff that I left out is the reason why I was really anxious about this trip. Just a basket case. It was after all of the worry about just going on this trip, trying to be sober and all of that. The first thing is that my teacher had said, remember, this is an old school teacher, hardcore, disciplined, that's how we were. He had said, listen, and I just want to let you know, this is the first thing that I want you to know, is that we must respect these teachers there in Korea. They're very important people. They're connected with the government. And so to show our respect, it's a tradition that each and every one of you people that are going on this trip will be taking two quarts of liquor, all right? Whether it's whiskey or scotch. Now, that was the icing on the cake, I thought anyways. So now I have to put 2 bottles of booze in my suitcase, travel for 13, 14 hours, and hoping that they're not going to break in my suitcase and just saturate everything I have in there as far as clothing goes. And I'm going to be there, for 12 days. I was just a mess about that. On top of it all, I brought my teacher aside and I said, listen, I'm newly sober here. And that's all I had to tell him, because then, of course, the stigma came in, right? I'm sure you can relate to this. I'm a master teacher. I'm a black belt martial artist. I'm supposed to have self-control and self-discipline. And he just was not happy with me telling him that. He had thought because I was a black belt and a master teacher that I should have much more control and I should be able to drink if I wanted to. So he was really disappointed with me. And I'm going to be with him for 12 days with a bunch of other people. And that really, really bothered me, So leaving, Providence that morning, I'll never forget it. I just didn't know if I was going to make it, and just the whole thing with the bottles in my suitcase and everything, I was just, just a mess. The other thing was really the icing on the cake. And he said, listen, we're going to be invited to a very personal dinner with a very high-ranking Grand Master, which is my teacher, he said. Some of you are going to be invited. And Master Tibiage, you're going to be one of them. I was like, oh, that's great. Wow, we're going to actually go to his home, right? And he, he said pretty much that, we're going to sit there. There's some etiquette, there's bowing, there's certain things you have to do. Please show your respect. Yes, sir, no, sir, and all the other stuff. And there will be a toast of this particular drink that they drink there in Seoul, Korea. And I forgot the name of it. But, and I just kind of looked at him. I said, I can't do that. He goes, yes, you can. I said, I can't drink liquor. He goes, yes, you can. You're going to show disrespect to him and everybody else at that table. It's a tradition. You'll have to drink it. And he was very upset with me, very animate about it. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. What am I going to do? Right? I said, I can't do it. I have to be true to myself. I have to worry about me. It's beyond now the discipline and the respect of teachers at this point. And, all of this going on, in my head. Long story short, most of the big portion of the story, so I'll move forward. And it came to a point where, my teacher really wasn't really happy with me. So he pretty much kept his distance from me for the whole 12 days. But I still managed to have a great time. I still managed to learn so much from so many teachers. I still managed to be involved in the competitions and the demonstrations. I was honored with all kind of awards and certifications. I met so many great people from all over the world, especially Asia. And I was also signing autographs. It was a phenomenal time. But boy, I tell you, there were some places there that I didn't think I was going to make it. And one of them, and I'll finish with this, is that was I sitting at that table at that Grandmaster's home, and his wife serving that drink, all in her traditional clothing. Everybody had their traditional clothing on, and she came up with the drink, and she put that shot on in front of me, and they were going to do a toast, and I looked at it, and my teacher looked at me, and I said, you know what? I'm sticking up for myself. He's not going to be happy with me, but I'm going to say no. And I remember bowing, and I said, I am so sorry, but I'm allergic. I get sick when I drink alcohol. And you should have seen the look on his face, number one. Number two, the Grandmaster's wife that was serving the alcohol just looked at me, and she just bowed. She goes, no worries, she said, no worries. And she just kept feeding me more food. It was became a joke. It's just, I'll take care of you, more rice for him, more of this, more of that, because I didn't have, the shot of liquor. I got through it. Long story short, I got through it. I was true to myself, right? And those are the lessons we have to think about. Take care of yourself. There's nothing more important than your own sobriety. People will not understand. Traditions will not understand. Teachers will not understand. The closest people in your life will not understand what you're going through unless they have been through it themselves. So again, to thine own self be true. I hope that's helped you. Please, I would like to have those thumbs ups and the likes. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. See you soon.